Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave. I'm a proud American from my birth to the grave. 47's the top, took a bullet for all. Didn't flinch, didn't run, still the answer the call. And we said, be tight, be tight, be tight. Officer Tatum show. Be tight, be tight, be tight. Officer Tatum show. Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave. I'm a proud American from my birth to the grave. 47's the top, took a bullet for all. Didn't flinch, didn't run, still the answer the call. And we said, be tight, be tight, be tight. Officer Tatum show. Be tight, be tight, be tight. Officer Tatum show.
If you don't believe that we are in a fight today, you're sleeping under a rock. If you get hit and you lay down and you cry and you fold up in the corner, definitely you will not win the fight. We show up to win. Our culture needs a lot of you young people in here to step up and stand out. There is nothing or no principality, power, division, devil can stop us when we're united. They can only get you when you're divided. When I see the American flag, I see us progressing to something that can be awesome and great. And if you don't plan on winning then, you might as well go on today.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Officer Tatum show. It's good to be back. I wasn't feeling well yesterday. I don't know, I had a stomach flu or something. I still feel a little weird. Haven't eaten in 2 days, which is good. I kind of want to fast and get myself, you lose some of this weight easier. But anyway, I just, this immigration stuff that's going on in California is just, it's mind-boggling to me to a certain degree. One reason is that, do we all understand the platform in which we're operating on? Which means that, do we understand that we are talking about people who are illegally in this country? We're not talking about Mexicans. We're talking about people who are illegally in the country. What is the penalty for being illegally in the country? Undocumented, overstaying visas. What is the penalty? It's deportation. That's the penalty that's on the books. I don't know. I don't care if you think it's a criminal offense, you don't think it's a criminal offense, you want to have compassion, that's fine. But the penalty for being an illegal alien or an undocumented person in this country is deportation. And also, they continue to lie. I mentioned the U.S. code the other day. If you cross into this country without coming through the port of entry, it is a misdemeanor crime. What if you harbor illegal aliens in this country? That is a crime. What are we talking about? You guys have to understand there's a direct contrast between those who believe in the law and those who do not believe in the law. Now, I will tell you this. The Democrats are the fakest, most disingenuous people when it comes to this, because they were not saying this years ago. Gavin Newsom, none of these people. Barack Obama deported more people than any president in history. So don't get it twisted and act as if the Republicans are only people that's trying to force the illegals out and come and getting grandma out the house and doing all this other stuff. That's not what Republicans have historically done. The Democrats have done the same thing. But when the Republicans are in office, the Democrats try to grandstand to win an election. They're doing this for propaganda. None of this really matters to them. Let me give you an example. Let's go to the Democrats on sanctuary cities. Biden in 2007, what he said about sanctuary cities is clip 1 on my sheet here. So pretty much Biden in 2007 said sanctuary cities must follow federal immigration law. He was firm that local government cannot ignore federal law. That's what he said. Wrote a clip.
Would you allow these cities to ignore the federal law regarding the reporting of illegal immigrants and, in fact, provide sanctuary to these immigrants?
The reason the cities ignore the federal law is the fact that there is no funding at the federal level to provide for the kind of enforcement at the federal level you need. Pick up the New York Times today. There's a city not far across the river from my state that imposed the similar sanctions. And what they found out is, as a consequence of that, their city went in the dumps, in the dumpster. Stores started closing. Everything started to happen. And they changed the policy. Part of the problem is you have to have a federal government that can enforce laws. This administration has been fundamentally derelict in not funding any of the requirements that are needed even to enforce the existing law.
So, Senator Biden, yes or no, would you allow the cities to ignore the federal law?
No.
Okay.
This is what Democrats were saying and how they represented these sanctuary cities. I wish we had that clip up of Barack Obama just coming out plainly and saying, do not come here. You will be deported. Like, why is it that when Republicans do what the Democrats said that they wanted to do, that somehow we're evil? And you got family members that are stupid enough to fall for this stuff. Listen, they're going after hardened criminals who are committing crimes in our country. But if they run into other people while they're in the commission of deporting hardened criminals, they can't just let them go. They're going to get them too because they're all violating our laws. It is a misdemeanor to come into this country undocumented. And the Democrats like to conflate a lot of things. If you come through a port of entry for an asylum claim, they give you a court date, you don't show up to court, that's not a crime. But if you knowingly and intentionally are not going to court to stay and remain in our country illegally, and people are hiring you, people are harboring you, these are all crimes being committed. And although you not showing up to your immigration meeting may not be a crime in and of itself, but the penalty for you not showing up to your immigration meeting or your immigration hearing is deportation. So what are we saying here? Okay, let's go to the dummy, Alex Padilla, who ended up getting himself kicked out of a meeting trying to grandstand. When these people know when these people know they don't really believe this stuff. These people that we're deporting are hardened criminals. Some of these people have been here 30 years. You didn't get your stuff together in 30 years. You're taking advantage of the system. Now, look, if every single immigrant was illegal, then I wouldn't say nothing. But there are millions of immigrants who come here the right way. There's millions of immigrants who go through the process, who pay the fees, who get attorneys, who have asylum claims, who show up to their appointments, who get granted access into America, that swear in, that take the test, that's, that they have to take a test to acknowledge, and they have an oath that they give to the United States of America. Roll this clip.
Sir, hands up. I'm Senator Alex Padilla. I have questions for the secretary because the fact of the matter is a half a dozen violent criminals that you're rotating on your hands off.
How many of our ICE agents have been docked?
On the ground. Hands behind your back. Hands behind your back.
If you let my hands go, I put behind my back.
All right. Cool. Other hand. Lay flat. Lay flat.
Other hand, sir. Other hand.
There's no recording allowed out here. I did not know. There's no recording allowed out here for FBI, right? So what I'm sorry? There's no recording allowed out here.
All right, so let's talk about this real quick. This guy blatantly did exactly what he did to make a scene so you could have a scene of him getting pushed out of the meetings. What should he have done? Filed a form of inquiry if he disagreed. Waited for his time to speak. The hearing has structure. He could have waited and he could have said everything that he wanted to say instead of running to the front of the room being stupid. Use evidence, not emotions, to challenge the policy. Also, be a professional. These people know that they're doing the wrong thing, but they want to get the scene where they're getting pushed out of somewhere, where they're getting arrested, where somebody has to use force against them. And in all honesty, they're doing it for nefarious reasons. They're really not trying to get anything done. If they were, they would be going down the proper channels to do it. It's the same thing that happened in the civil rights movement. Rosa Parks had a car. There was no need for Rosa Parks to be sitting in the back of the bus. Black people had their own bus line. It was a staged event to create controversy so they can push a federal agenda. That's what they did. The more I learn about the civil rights movement and some of the things that they did, the more I do not respect how they went about doing it. They want to use federal enforcement to accomplish the things that they want to accomplish. And they will stage conflicts in order to get you emotionally invested so then you support their agenda. When their agenda has nothing to do with the way in which the country was founded, and that's states' rights, and also with federal government have limited access and limited oversight over what the states are doing. They only supposed to be here to make sure that your constitutional rights are protected, not to be lord over every state. States have their own constitutions. States have their own states' rights. States have their own laws that are separate from federal law. Federal agents can't come and enforce state law. States can't enforce federal law. There's a separation between federal and state, and we should keep it that way by and large. Let's go to CNN because they actually came out against Padilla. Roll the clip.
Received a statement from the office of Senator Padilla, and they say that he's currently in Los Angeles exercising his duty to perform congressional oversight of the federal government's operations in Los Angeles across California. It goes on to say that he tried to ask the secretary a question and was forcibly removed by federal agents, forced to the ground and handcuffed. He is not currently detained, and we are working to get additional information. David, over and over, we've heard from voters in different parts of the country talking about how they want to see Democrats confront the administration on some of these issues like immigration. I mean, it gets handsy, but Padilla was trying to make a statement there.
There's no doubt about it. I mean, she was holding a press conference and doing a press statement. He's not a member of the press. It wasn't like a hearing where it was an open forum for senators to ask a question. He clearly showed up to a public event to create a moment and do what you're saying, sort of show his constituents, not just Democrats, but that he's fighting from his perspective. Again, I think the question is, was this the appropriate response of how it got dealt with in that moment and how that plays? To your point, though, I mean, what we're seeing politically is a very divided country over the support and opposition. It's almost evenly divided in a Washington Post poll today over the president's actions and policies here, both over the president putting in the Guard and the Marines there, right? But also we see an evenly divided country over support and opposition to the protests to ICE's action.
You might also, in a situation like this, say,
what the only reason that there's any closeness and people believing one way or the other is because the lies that the media is perpetuating. This is a very simple thing. If they told the truth, people would be on the Republican side far more than on the Democrat side. Donald Trump is not going out getting grandma on them. These people are committing crimes. These people are under investigation. These people have warrants for their arrests to be brought to immigration court. And just because you at Home Depot don't mean you didn't commit a crime. There's people that are associated with violence, gang activity, and are under investigation with warrants, and they out there trying to work at the Home Depot lot. They're conflating two things. Does a person have a warrant or not? They know what the operation looked like. They have access to this the operational information. They don't want to have access to it. They don't want to tell you the truth. They want to paint the picture that Donald Trump is getting grandma on them. Why don't they? You would never hear the Democrats talk about all the criminals who are raping people, killing people, selling drugs. They will never mention a single iota of information about the people that Trump is actually deporting or that ICE is arresting who are violent criminals. They won't mention them. They won't talk about it. They won't allude to it. Nothing. They only act as if he's going after mom, grandma, and grandpa. And just because you're a grandma and grandpa don't mean you ain't committing crimes. And at the end of the day, they shouldn't be here anyway. And I don't feel sorry for them. You got to go. I've been here for 30 years. You didn't fix this in 30 years? I don't understand how people who came here legally, appreciate this. It's like, bro, I did all this to get here legally, and you just walked in the country. You get the same rights as me? You got to be smoking crack. All right, let it finish.
Kind of moment was the senator looking for? But I also would note, and I'm curious just if you can speak to kind of the norms of things. Normally, you have a situation where there's more interaction, even between members of Congress who maybe don't see eye to eye with the White House. They are a little able, at least, to have some kind of interactions. There really are no avenues, I think, for members of Congress to get the ear of someone at the White House if they're not seen as very in line with President Trump.
I mean, I think it depends on the issue and the personnel, right, that find access points to certain things. But
all right, now let's go to these TikTok influencers. Let's go to clip 1 from the TikTok influencers. And this is why, these are the reasons why I'm saying that it would not be close in public perception if they had not been paying people and lying and deceiving about this particular situation. I'm telling you, they're lying. They're getting people on TikTok to come out and spew false information, which Exhibit A wrote a clip.
Being in a country that you're in illegally is a civil offense, not a criminal one. You know what else is a civil offense? Jaywalking.
And being undocumented is not a criminal offense. It's a civil one. And if you've ever jaywalked, congratulations, because you've also committed a civil offense.
Have you ever sped over the speed limit? Have you ever drank or smoked underage? Have you ever drank and then driven a car? What about jaywalking?
Being undocumented.
Hold on, time out. This woman said, did she just go back to her? Is she trying to say that these crimes that she mentioned are associated with jaywalking? Go through and pause it when I say stop. Roll it.
Over the speed limit? Have you ever drank or smoked underage? Have you
Stop.
ever
Driving over the speed limit, depending on how much you go over the speed limit, is a crime. Drinking underage is a crime. I don't know it. It's not civil. If you drink underage, you are a minor in consumption of alcohol. What are you talking about? If you purchase alcohol underage, the person who sold it to you and you both committed a crime. If you speed, if you go 20 miles per hour over any posted speed limit, that's criminal speeding. They could also get you for reckless driving. That's a crime. You will get arrested. What are you talking about? How does this correlate to jaywalking? Roll the clip.
drank and then driven a car? What about jaywalking?
It's a DUI.
Being undocumented in America is a civil offense. It's not a criminal one. It's the same caliber of crime as a traffic offense.
Just a reminder, in case anyone forgot, being undocumented is a civil offense, not a criminal one.
If you've so much as littered on public property, I never want to hear, oh, but they broke a law, as a justification for your hate.
If these influencers are choosing not to use their platforms, let's force them to. I'm tired of all these influencers not speaking up right now because things are happening right now in our own backyards, and some of these people are staying quiet.
I'm taking note of clocking in and following every single LA-based creator who is completely ignoring what's going on.
Where the are all these loudmouth celebrities and influencers when they get on this internet and they dropping music, or they're dropping a collab, or they're dropping a beauty kit, or they're dropping a perfume? Baby, people are getting snatched up in the United States of America.
You rape the benefits of Los Angeles and you're not willing to protect and respect the individuals who are the beating heart of Los Angeles, then leave this city.
Ashley, I'm actually really happy to see you here. Does this mean that you and your husband are no longer big Trump supporters, given that you're agreeing with this video? I hope so.
If you are okay with the things going on in the United States right now, please unfollow me and never speak to me again.
If you're white and see an ICE raid happening and you don't get involved, I think you're a and I don't respect you at all.
If you voted for Donald Trump in the last election, you are a bad person. If you continue to endorse Trump and his policies since the election, you are a bad person. If you do not think what ICE is doing in California right now is problematic, you are a bad person.
The second you don't speak out against atrocities, all for the sake of, I just don't want to get involved, you aren't kind. You're actively being harmful, and you're a coward.
If you support the president violating congressional law and sending the military to arrest people who are executing their First Amendment rights, you are a fascist.
If you support ICE, hold on. It's another minute of this. You can't tell me that somebody not paying these people to do this. They all are using the same talking points. And people sometimes are stupid enough to believe these people without any investigation. Donald Trump isn't violating congressional law. He's not violating the Constitution. The Supreme Court already ruled that he was justified and allowed to do exactly what he did. This is not rocket science. It is against the law to be in our country illegally. And when I say be in our country illegally, they conflate two things. If you cross the border and you never went through a port of entry, you have committed a misdemeanor crime. If you've done it more than once, it's a felony. So if everybody went through port of entry and they just missed their hearing, then it would be civil. But not everybody came here that way. So they're acting like everybody that's in our country didn't cross the border illegally. Come on, bro. Roll the clip.
Respectfully gargle on my penis.
If you support ICE, if you support this current administration, if you think anything that's going on in the U.S. is good for the country, I don't think you're very pretty, and I don't think you're very smart.
And ICE. And also, if you think you're pro-life but you supported this administration, there's nothing pro-life about what's going on in LA or anywhere in the country. So there's that.
Then you're a bad person.
If you got here and you got papers and you agree with what's going on right now, you.
If you are a resident of Los Angeles, California, and you have a large platform on this app on the internet, and you have decided, you have made the conscious choice to not speak out against the ICE raids that are taking place in this city right now, the attack that Los Angeles is feeling in this moment, if you're not sticking your head out for your own community, the city of Los Angeles in which you live, that you benefit so much from, if you can't do that, you do not deserve your platform, and maybe you should move.
You are not absolutely horrified by what's going on right now. Your delusion.
I've seen videos of children being separated from their families and families being pulled apart and people crying doesn't elicit any amount of empathy from you. I'm so sorry, but you might be the problem.
Influencer and content creators, if you can't even reshare something, we see you.
Who marries these women? Like, who is friends with these people? These people are so stupid and detached from reality. I swear, God is my witness. If you were to have a basic conversation with these people, they would have nothing to say. You say, is every raid in California of just random people? You know, there's millions of illegal aliens. You got to put things in perspective and be able to compartmentalize. There is millions of illegal aliens in California, in LA alone. Why did they go to this Home Depot? Why don't they raid every Home Depot? They went to a specific Home Depot in a specific area to do a raid. Why is that? Because they have a warrant for specific people that are here and here. They don't have the resources, and they're even trying to get every illegal person in this country. But you guys are giving the illusion that they just randomly going to schools and rounding up people. They don't have the resources to do that. They would have to spend all day, and they could just spend, they go to one school district and round up 10,000 people. But they don't do that. And there's warrants and there's affidavits available, probably public record, that these people can look up, and they won't. Let's go to clip 2 in that same series about them getting paid $200 a day to protest. Roll it.
I just got offered $200 a day to go protest ICE in New York. The organization was called No Kings. They said June 14th we're going to be protesting, and these are the streets that you need to be on, and this is what you need to do. You need to cause chaotic disruptions, and they said that there's going to be pallets of like bricks and different things everywhere that protesters could use. They really want to wreak havoc. It's kind of ridiculous. Me as an American, although I need the money, I'm like, this is very, very unpatriotic. If I was to go take this money and go protest, it's not very American. It's not what I stand for. It's obviously not even, worth the time. But, $200 a day is what they're paying people to go protest. The corruption is up here because it goes way beyond these organizations. They want to destroy America, and people like me that need money are gonna go do it. I'm not gonna go do it, but people are gonna go do it. They're gonna go destroy, the city and cause chaos. It's just crazy that, they're even paying people to go do this. It just goes to show that everything we deal with is corruption, and these people at the top level, like, who's paying for this? There's got to be some billionaires paying for this so that, they could try to get Trump out or something. But, $200 a day to go cause chaos is, like, crazy. Not worth it, but also, like, really f***ed up.
All right, so there is speculation that certain groups are behind this 100%. On my notes, I have radical leftist groups like PSL and Answer Coalition are behind the LA riots. This other company called, I think it's Chirla, CHIRLA, or Cheer LA, or what, I don't know how they would say this word, but California immigration nonprofit is under investigation for helping fund the chaos. These protests are not spontaneous. These protests are funded. It's an agenda, ladies and gentlemen. They want as many illegal. Why do you think Biden left the border open? They want as many illegal aliens to get in this country so they can give them amnesty. They will become instantaneous Democrat voters. They spread them out throughout all of the country, all of the swing states. So therefore, they'll run amok. Elon Musk mentioned it. Anybody with common sense know this is why they're doing what they're doing. Why don't they get a process in which these people can come here legally? Because it will take too long for them to influx 20 million people into our country. So they just let them come right in, turn a blind eye to it. And then when anybody try to hold them accountable or get some of these people out of here, they want to demonize them and stage fake outrage. There's another person, Roy Singham. Roy Singham is a Chinese-based billionaire known for funding far-left pro-communist groups in the United States of America tied to organizing efforts behind recent protests, including the LA riots. Senator Josh Hawley leading the investigation into the funding of these riots, probing that company I was just talking about for their money trail and connection to Singham, who is that Chinese billionaire, and saying that the violence is organized and dangerous. This is a coup within our own country. But if that wasn't enough, let's go to Gavin Newsom real quick. Because I believe Gavin Newsom is one of the biggest hypocrites on planet Earth. And I don't need to come up with it on my own. You can hear it in his own words. Listen to what Gavin Newsom said in 2020 versus now. Roll the clip.
We're taking important steps here in California in light of what we saw at our nation's capital just last week. Let me be clear. There will be no tolerance for violence. That's why today, Along with the CHP and Office of Emergency Services, I've activated the California National Guard to support the CHP to enhance security with an initial deployment of up to 1,000 Guard members to protect critical state infrastructure in and around the state capitol. Donald Trump, without consulting California law enforcement leaders, commandeered 2,000 of our state's National Guard members to deploy on our streets. He chose theatrics over public safety. That's when the downward spiral began.
Really? You can deploy the National Guard because of the concerns that you claim. The world can see how bad these staged protests are, with cop cars getting burnt down, CHP officers getting hurt, they're throwing rocks on everybody. None of y'all are even able to protect the federal agents or the federal facilities. And then you're mad that Donald Trump did it, saying that he stepped over his bounds. Well, the Supreme Court ruled recently, or one of the courts ruled recently, that he was justified in what he did. These people are liars, and I hope they burn in hell. Let's go on to another. Dr. Phil had something to say about this as well. I want to play the clip that Dr. Phil had, clip 1. Roll it.
Jake, nobody questions the humanity of most of the people that have come across the border. Most of the people, at least in my experience and what I've seen, are not criminals. They're not dangerous, vicious, violent criminals. They are moms and dads. The Hispanic population historically is very family oriented. They're very church oriented. They're very family oriented. Nobody questions the humanity of most of the people that have come across the border. That doesn't make them immune from the law. The law is not optional. It's not a suggestion. You either enforce it or you don't. And if you don't like the law and if it's flawed, change it. Those protests need to be on Capitol Hill. You don't need to be vilifying the officers on the street, the ICE agents, and throwing rocks at their heads.
All right, clip 2. Parents getting papers. Roll it. Hold on, pause right there. Unless you're a racist, I don't think anybody have a problem with this, for the most part. Young man serving in the military. Parents probably had him here. He's an anchor baby, which I think we should dissolve completely. But his parents went the right way and got papers, and now they're citizens. Nobody has a real problem with this. But why do they have to do that and other people just sneak in? That's one thing I just never understand. What are we even talking about? I'll never understand it. I'll never understand it. Kim Kardashian, this dumb whoremonger. I have zero respect for Kim Kardashian because she's stupid. And people say, oh, she did it. No, she did it for sucking off what's his name on a sex tape. That's how she became popular, to be honest. Ray J. Sucking Ray J on a sex tape is how she became popular. Now, what she done with it since then, you can give her props if you want to or not. This woman then been ran through by so many men and been married and unmarried 5 or 6 times. I have no respect for her. Oh, she went to get people out of jail. That's fine, but she's stupid. She's still stupid. Can you see? And you tell how stupid she is. She got kids with Kanye West. You know she's stupid. But anyway, let's read a little comments here. When we're told that ICE exists to keep our country safe and to remove violent criminals, great. But when we witness innocent, hardworking people being ripped from their families in inhumane ways, we have to speak up. We have to do what's right. Now, first of all, these people are so stupid. We've seen people get ripped from their family. Well, if your dad is a gang-banging criminal and they have to come to the house and arrest him, what's the problem? When thugs that she tried to advocate for to get out of prison, when they got arrested, you didn't come protest in. They went to prison. Growing up in L.A., I've seen how deeply immigrants are woven into the fabric of this city. They are our neighbors, friends, classmates, co-workers, and family. No matter where you fall politically, it's clear that our communities thrive because of the contribution of immigrants. Immigrants. Are you guys saying that every immigrant is illegal? Every immigrant is illegal? Is that what you're saying, bruh? These people, she should say illegal immigrants thrive because of the contribution of illegal immigrants, because these are the only people that's getting deported. These are the only people that ISIS is going after, are illegal immigrants. So why would you make a statement and be disingenuous by saying immigrants? Why? You're willfully being ignorant and making up an issue that don't exist. There's a difference between an immigrant and an illegal immigrant. Immigrants that come here the right way, like many that live in society today, nobody has a problem with it. We are a nation of legal immigrants. We can't turn a blind eye when fear and injustice keep people from living their lives freely and safely. Well, how about you take your dirty money that you've made from being a whore and you build a house where you let illegal aliens come live there? How about you open a facility where you allow illegal aliens to be there? These people make me so sick. You guys claim that you love illegals, but let them come live at your house. How about the government force all of y'all to allow illegal alien to come stay with you? Oh, you don't want, they can't stay in your house. Why? Because they're criminals? You afraid they're going to rape you and your kids? Is that what you're afraid of? Then why do they get to come into the country and let everybody else be the victim of it? This girl live in a big house on a mansion with a gated community that she ain't never seen an illegal alien walk anywhere by her house. I can't stand these people, man. I try to be a good Christian but I can't stand these people, bro. I can't stand them. The girl fake, probably got BBLs, fake breasts. She got a whole head done. Her mama then turned into another. Her sister is a different person. Like, I don't know. Just because you rich don't mean I got to respect you. You a nasty chick. You could go look it up right now and see her getting banged on a video. And you got kids with the dumbest man on planet Earth, Kanye West. And you were married to that basketball player, married to that reality show guy. You just getting ran through. Like, I don't respect this woman. She don't deserve respect. She do something good here and there, and everybody supposed to respect her. Nah, man, all of y'all are silly. You wouldn't be nothing without your daddy. Anyway, let's move on. What? That CNN clip. What CNN clip? There's a CNN clip. I didn't. It's on that Kim Kardashian segment. Well, let's play the clip. Is it clip 2? Clip 3. Go to clip 3. Roll it.
I think it's important to remember, part of the reason that we're here, to what Bakari was saying, is because Donald Trump misled the American people. He said during the campaign it was going to be about violent criminals.
No, I disagree with that completely.
Let me finish. We're seeing people come out all over the country. We saw a group of, frankly, Trump folks when a waitress in Minnesota, who is part of the community, been there for 15 years, be taken in by ICE, and the community said, wait a second, she's not a violent criminal. She's here illegally.
How is that Trump?
But that's what he said. He told us one thing, and he said, and he's doing another.
They should be in the halls of Washington protesting the Congress people who haven't done their job.
But you know what? How about
Republicans and Democrats have not done their job. They're throwing rocks at police officers because Congress hasn't done their job.
Well, Congress had an opportunity to do the job last year. Who said walk away from the deal? That was Donald Trump.
That was an amnesty bill.
I hear this talking point a lot from Democrats that Donald Trump misled the American people and somehow said he was only going to deport violent criminals.
He said he was going to prioritize
At every single rally that I watched, he said, we are going to have the largest deportation operation in American history. And the reason he did that is because that position has majority support with the American people, and that position is what got him the majority of working class people. Because immigration is a topic that divides the working class from the elites. 100%. The elites are the consumers of low-wage labor, and when you guys say they're taking people from the community, what you mean is they're taking people from the workforce, people who undercut the wages of American workers, which is why the working class flipped from the Democrats. So again, according to a CNN poll, 54% of Americans, and according to a CBS poll, 57% of Americans want every illegal migrant deported. It's not a majority want the criminals, a majority want every single one. That is the mandate that Donald Trump believes he was given. Immigration was the top reason people voted for him. Kim Kardashian hates this because she is rich, like the people who employed those nannies. Rich people are now the base of the Democratic Party. They are the employers of low-wage labor. They love illegal migration because they get to pay their nanny less than they would have to pay an American. So, of course, they are very upset that their jobs program of an open border is coming to an end. Working class people see this as a lifeline because they are still represented as the majority in every industry. I just want to make that point. There is not a single industry in the United States that is not done a majority by American citizens. There is no job that is beneath the dignity of Americans. There are no jobs Americans
more
won't
Americans
do.
than there are
So
illegal immigrants. So that is also true.
It's an insult to the American worker to say to them, these are jobs that Americans don't want to do, when millions of Americans are doing those jobs.
Like there are more Americans in the country, so yes, there are going to be more Americans doing everyday jobs. I mean, it's an overwhelming number of Americans versus immigrants.
There's also tens of millions of Americans who've left the labor force and aren't working in the Trump administration.
Karen, a quick last word, and then we have to go.
Well, and I will just take us
Hold
back
on, let's
to last year
say
when we were
this.
talking.
This is what these people, these illegal aliens create different environments of work requirements. They are willing to do anything. They do not have the dignity and respect that American citizens feel like they're owed. So illegal aliens will work 15 hours a day and won't get paid overtime. They will work 15, 20 hours and won't demand nothing out of it. They will work 15 hours every single day for 3 years straight and won't complain. And that's just, I'm just being real. I'm just keeping it real. That's the difference. You don't have to pay illegal aliens and migrants real. You pay them cash. Like, listen, I cannot confirm or deny. We had some people cleaning up our house a long time ago, and they wanted cash only. Couldn't speak English. Now, we treat people right. So we ain't trying to find out their immigration status at the time. We wasn't thinking about that. We just like, they clean houses. We got referred to them. They can't speak English, which is kind of weird. But at the same time, are they going to do a good job or they not? We paid them really good. But if we decided not to pay them, what they going to do? If we said, no, we can only have y'all work for this, man. We going to pay you $100 instead of $250. What they going to do? We let them come work and then don't pay them like we supposed to. What they gonna do? They taking cash for a reason. What they gonna do? Call the police? Oh, come over here. Be a victim in this crime. Oh, you illegally in this country? You're gonna get deported. They get taken advantage of all the time. And if people want to, they will. And people are evil, so they do. These illegal aliens be out here in construction work getting hurt and everything. And they don't care where they gonna go. They're not employed anyway. They got people on a construction site paying them minimum wage. The American worker has rights and everything. Workman's comp. You got to pay payroll tax. They contract these illegal aliens. They don't check and see if they valid. Julio, come out here and do this fence, $100 a day. Julio doing the fence. I remember a guy came to my house one time and he couldn't speak English, but his like 10-year-old kid could. He said, I'll do these palm trees. Gave us a price. We said, all right, come on and do the palm trees. This dude was jumping from palm tree to palm tree. And I swear they were like 20 feet apart. He jumped. I saw him jump from one palm tree to the next while he was at the top. I thought he was going to die. They out here grinding. What did we pay him? Cash. We paid the man cash. Now, if it was an American, they wouldn't be jumping from palm tree to palm tree. They would have a contract. You have to pay them a certain amount of money up front. You would have to do, it was all kind of regulations, the equipment, and they work for a company. The company has to have the qualifications. They have to pay taxes, so they have to charge you X amount because they got to pay tax on that, so they need to make a profit. When you get a illegal alien out there, oh, you want to cut my yard for $100? It's 15 of them live in one house. $100 is good money if all of them go out and make $100. Americans are not like that. So what does it mean, Brandon? It means that this is why they get taken advantage of. If they don't feel taken advantage of, because it's better than living in Mexico, okay, where you make no money and them pesos don't go nowhere. But you come to America, hey, you want to clean up like the people that clean here. It's a facility. Some of these people don't even speak English. Now the company seems like a real company, but some of the people that come through, I don't know. It's a real company, so I'm assuming these people are legally in this country. But if they weren't, how do we really know? But I think that America deserves to do better and treat the American citizens better. People are looking for working opportunities. But I think let me just tell you what this is another thing that I think people need to understand. Thomas Sowell mentioned this a long time ago. That's why minimum wage isn't a thing. Should not be a thing. There should be no minimum wage. And let me tell you why. It's because what does minimum wage do? It creates an environment where people are doing stuff under the table. Because in a company like this one that I have, well, we don't have a lot of people that work, like at low-end jobs. Everybody here is making way more than minimum wage. But if I had to if I had to hire some people to do pick, pack, and the delivery, and minimum wage was $25 an hour. You know what kind of financial hit that would be to have 15 people down there making $25 an hour just to do a shirt like this and fold and put it in a bag? What does major companies do? They go get an illegal. They'll do it for $12 an hour. And they'll pay them cash, and they'll be day labor. Come in here, and you fold that, I'll give you $12 an hour. And the American that's making $25 an hour is unemployed because they're not going to pay an American $25 an hour. You know what also happens? If you're in a call center and you just picking up a phone and saying, hello, let me transfer you to the doctor for $25 an hour, you know what they do? They outsource communication to India. That's why you hear the person go, may I help you? You're like, what is this? This is an American company. And they in India somewhere. This is what happens. Okay, but y'all don't care. And if you don't care, I don't care. But I'll tell you this, these people are wrong and they're evil. And I hope they all go to hell for being evil. I don't mind you being ignorant while pursuing learning and things like that. But when you know better and you gaslighting people, you're an evil person. There's no way in the world I could sit around and be advocating for something Trump doing and I know it's wrong. What's the one with the black girl, that clip? What's that clip? You were just on it. What is that clip?
It was a person in an award studio talking about Trump and ICE.
Is that the girl that won the put it on the screen? No, that ain't her. That's somebody else. What this girl got to say? Roll the clip.
We want to address what's happening right now outside of the building.
Dumb black people. Dumb.
There are ruthless attacks that are creating fear and chaos in our communities in the name of law and order. Trump is using military forces to stop a protest. And I want y'all to consider what kind of government it appears to be when every time we exercise our democratic right to protest, the military is deployed against us. What type of government is that? People are being swept up.
I can't listen to it no more. She's so stupid. Can you believe people exist like this? Donald, every time we protest, he send the military. Karen Bass just got on the TV and said the military is only, the National Guard is standing at the federal facilities. That's all they're doing. So where did you get that the military is stopping protests? And where do you get that protest, that people are throwing rocks and burning stuff is a protest? That's not a protest. That's a violation of the law. When somebody throwing a rock on top of a cop head, that's a protest? You dumb Negro? Is that a protest? Put it back on the screen. Is that a protest? Throwing rocks at cops is a protest. And deploying the National Guard to protect the federal facility is the federal agents stopping protesters. They are nowhere near protesters. They are nowhere near the freeway. They are nowhere near any of this stuff. What are you talking about? They're only deployed to protect the federal buildings. But you got Negroes out here that's stupid enough to stand on this stage and cry about what's happening to Mexican illegal aliens and won't talk nothing about what's happening in the black community. Little boys getting killed every day in LA. Gang violence is insane in LA. Have you heard of the Rolling 60s and all that? Dudes thugging and killing and drug dealing every day in LA. And she get on here to talk about illegal immigrants. And none of these black folks will shake a head and nod at the violence in the black community. I can't stand these people. I can't stand them. I want to play this clip of Mark Lamont Hill getting attacked by a black girl. The biggest race hustler, race baiting person on planet Earth is Mark Lamont Hill. And this fat black girl decides to pepper spray him while he scrambles like a little girl. Roll the clip.
Because my family is absolutely connected to Mamiya. I just wanted to say thank you so much for helping him. However, I know that it's been brought to your attention kind of recently about basically what is going on in regards to the CIA. So what I mean by that is basically, you know about the sexual abuse that encountered.
That you encountered?
Yes, that I had encountered.
No, I've never met him before.
So you don't know about the sexual abuse that encountered?
I want to ask you to take a step back, please.
This woman's broken into the store and vandalized me. That's how this kid honestly. Yeah, I've never met this woman before. You live in New York?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna call the cops. I saw it coming. That's what I'm saying. Get justice. Thank you. I just got to get up.
Get up. Walk out. Let's just walk out.
Mr. White supremacy is the worst thing that ever happened, got attacked by a black woman at this event. Now, I don't really know what this is all about. You know, she was pretty convinced that he knew exactly what she was talking about. Now, in my personal opinion, I think he did know what she was talking about. That's why he was trying to signal for people to come over there and get her. But I do not know. I just want to show that because I don't like Mark Lamont Hill. I think he a weak weirdo. Last thing I want to talk about is this plane crash. I know that it's breaking news. It really has nothing to do with America, in my personal opinion, other than Boeing. Now, Boeing is taking a hit, and they should take a hit, because this is one of many recent incidents that have occurred from Boeing jets with doors falling off, wheels falling off, the MAX, that literally the autopilot that many of the pilots were telling them about, that was overriding certain things that will cause them to crash. They warned them on a forum, and they ignored the pilots, and then it crashed in Africa and killed all those people. Now, here's another incident that just happened in India where there was a malfunction on takeoff. It looked like the landing gear didn't retract, and the gear that is supposed to be stable on takeoff, and it's complicated, so I'm not gonna go there. I'm gonna act like a pilot, but the gear didn't retract like it was supposed to, which caused the plane to stall. And when the plane doesn't get lift and it stalls, it goes right back down and it crashes. So this plane ended up crashing and killing everybody but one person, which is insane. Imagine being that one person that God has called to survive this particular incident. It crashed into a medical student hostel where 5 were injured, or 5 were killed, and 60 others were injured. This is the Dreamliner 787, and there has been a tremendous amount of these things happening, and I think that Boeing is going to be held accountable. So we can watch the video. There is a clip of a pilot explaining the nuance and how all of this happened. We'll play the clip of that pilot, but just so you know, this just happened. It's breaking news. People are talking about it all day. I just want to touch on it just a little bit. And I think that in post-production, we'll have a pilot explain it, because I don't know if we have that clip available, do we? We have it, yeah. We have a video of the pilot explaining it? Okay. I think this is a video of the pilot explaining it. Roll the clip.
Hello my friends and welcome, it's me again, Dennis, the airline pilot. I used to fly Boeing 737, but here we speak about Air India crash Boeing 787 Dreamliner, so we have the recent image published. Yeah, one more CCTV camera, you may see Boeing 787 Air India running for takeoff. This video was filmed, I guess, on the phone from the screen of some of the place where CCTV images are being played. Time of the departure definitely was confirmed, 13:28 local time. So here's the plane, and again it's kind of the blurry video. If I was there in the room, would see it from the screen, actually I would tell you what is the flap setting on this airplane. But here with this resolution it's definitely hard to tell. So the airplane was rolling and it's coming actually to the end of the runway, and then it lifts off over here at the very end of the runway. You may see that still there is the thrust. It pushes the ground, and we have even some of the dust, particles, grass flying around. So I guess it's already the end of the runway. So departure was done at the very end. From what I understand, I didn't see the runway over here on the bottom. Again, for the flaps, it's definitely hard to judge with this resolution on this distance. Whatever it was, there was definitely a problem because the airplane was struggling to get up. The crew lifted off this issue to the air. If that issue happened after V1, it is understandable. If before V1, yeah, they should have rejected the takeoff. Well, for me, it is now understandable why crew didn't retract the landing gear, because, yeah, there was the climb, but it was like barely, the airplane was barely climbing to the air. And if you do not have this constant climb, obviously you should leave landing gear down. The reason is to absorb the energy in case you touch down after takeoff. I guess it's the Russian source here, but nevertheless I took it from the internet. So what's about flap retraction? I don't think that crew would retract the flaps in this case. The airplane just continue falling down slightly. Because of the landing gear you have significant drag, and if it is a zero flap configuration, it is understandable why it happened. So it looks like one of the reasons, I will speculate just a little here, that it looks like there were no flaps selected for takeoff, and airplane just stalled with a zero flaps configuration. How could it happen? Guys, I'm out of clue, because you have the warning system installed in the airplane. If the airplane is not in a takeoff configuration, like you haven't selected the flaps for takeoff, at least flaps 1, like on Boeing 737, you'll have this warning, pam, pam, pam sound. By the time you press the takeoff go around button, you advance the thrust levers, you'll hear this very annoying warning. Even if you mess up with your click with all of the checklists, if you do not configure your airplane for takeoff, this warning will let you know that it's not the proper configuration of the airplane. On 787, they also have the warning, same stuff. So if the flaps were definitely up, like we see here, judging on this resolution, again guys, it's hard to tell because again it was filmed on the phone from some sort of the screen. But let's review it closer. Looks like the flaps are up, but hard to judge from this distance, from this resolution. Yeah, some people were saying that there is the RAM air turbine, and definitely there is specific sound with it. Let's listen to it and let's see the Boeing 787 with a RAM air turbine working. So here we go, you see the location. And it sounds like the piston aircraft, but in fact it's the sound coming from the propeller. So people were saying that it is the same sound over here, but again, this video is filmed on the phone, I would say in kind of the busy street or near the busy street. Let's listen to the sound here. Someone even comments, I wonder if the sound partially in this video is coming from the CCTV camera, maybe not. And again, if we zoom in with this resolution, it is very hard to tell, but probably something is deployed over here. A little bit on the back, maybe a RAM air turbine, red. Maybe we can see some others. Something is stirring, probably, out there. At the place where there is usually a RAM air turbine, but it could be maybe this antenna. And here maybe after all we have the configuration for takeoff, because those are the slats. I will just erase the image. You may see that it's a little different compared to this wings. So maybe the leading edge devices were extended and the trailing edge at minimum, which was done for efficient departure. So I would tell that something definitely was wrong with the engines for now. I would put attention on that one if I was the part of the investigation team. Why there was such a long
Eventually I'm going to find my guy that I always listen to that explains these things, and then maybe some more information to come out tomorrow. Maybe we'll touch base on it. I'm very interested in these things. I'm into aviation enough to know. I fly I fly a couple times a month, and I love airplanes. I love the functionality of them. I think they're the most beautiful creation as far as transportation that has ever been created, and it's very interesting. I always wanted to be a pilot, and so I'm just not willing to go to school to do it. But I always thought about being a pilot. I think it'd be incredibly fun to fly aircraft like that. But anyway, we'll get more information about that. I'm glad I'm feeling a little better than yesterday, but I'm still kind of feeling it. All right. So make sure you go to tatumstore.com to get you one of these hats. We got a bunch of brand new merch, so go and check it out. We have our new Ice Baby stuff, which is flying off the shelves. We're going to sell out of that real quick. But if you want to get an Ice Baby shirt, it's just really to rub it in the face of these fools who are coming out and acting like ICE is a terrorist group. And also don't forget that Synergy T-Force is available. I told you we got these white bottles, which I freaking hate. It was a big mistake that was made. We wanted the black ones. They ended up sending us white ones, and my OCD is getting the best of me, and so I did a discount on these white ones until we can sell them all out and we can get the new black ones in. But we've changed a lot. If you got the T-Force, the first one, we advanced it. We probably have put on the website the difference between the regular one and the advanced. I mean, the regular one probably has, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4 ingredients. We added 3 times the ingredients into this advance. So this one is far better, superior. We sold out of these. We advanced to the T-Force Advanced. So everybody who liked T-Force has the advanced version of it. Same 30-day supply, 3 pills a day, and it will change your life. So go to Synergy Life to get that. All right, I'm gonna do these super chats real quick, and I'm gonna be out of here. Okay. All right, let's start with the wrong. Most Democrats go along just to get along because it's all about who they like. 1,000%. Let's see if we go here. Let's see. Army vet and Marine mom here. I'm extremely sad and angered that they are rioting on the Army's birthday. Yeah, you know these people are stupid as heck. B. Tatum, been following your content since 2020. Keep up the great news. Keep up the great news that the legacy media lies about. I purchased some of your Synergy for my dad, who's a retired petty officer, first class Navy. Cannot wait for it to arrive. Awesome. I appreciate that, bro. They sound worse than Mockingbird Media. If you support law breaking, then you're the bad person. Shame on them. 100%. It's like it's okay for them to break the law and do all that stuff now, but then they cry about January 6th. It's like, well, they were breaking the law. Or y'all don't care about breaking the law. Oh, when it's on your side, you don't care. Unhinged liberal white women spouting nonsense is all the proof you need to question whether a 19th Amendment was a good idea. Time to revoke the 19th Amendment. I can't say women are really a cause of destruction in this country. Not all of them, but I think they are more destructive than men are when it comes to stuff like this. If you look at them, if men just vote in an election, we'll continue to have a constitutional republic. If women vote in an election, only women, we will be a communist society. That's just the truth. Raise your kids better. Person behind it is Neville Roy Singham per Luna.
Are those for those protests they fund?
Let's see. We need to revoke the 19th Amendment. Let's see. Photographed a house for a job in Kim's gated community, and they didn't even let you park on the street if you're not in their neighborhood system. These people are stupid. We need to pump those deportation numbers up more. 100%. We need to get everybody out of here that's in here illegally. Come back the right way. DM love to say due process. My thoughts, argument used to be, well, they are illegal and they're getting deported. They're being charged of a crime, or they aren't being charged of a crime. If entered illegally or enter legally is a misdemeanor, then are they not technically right? I don't get that one. Okay. And TBC, or to be clear, I, of course, want them out. Playing devil's advocate and saying legally, do they have a point or not? I got confused on this. Here's the thing. We have a law. If you're illegally in our country, the penalty is deportation. Period. Penalty is deportation. If you are undocumented, like for instance, let's put it in perspective. If you come through our country without going through a port of entry, you have committed a misdemeanor crime. If you do it twice, you committed a felony crime. Arrestable offenses, also deportable offenses. If you come to our country through a port of entry, claiming asylum or whatever you're claiming, you never show up to court, therefore you're undocumented and illegally in our country, the penalty for that is deportation. So if it's not a crime, then why do you need due process? You guys are claiming it's not a crime. So then why do you need due process to get deported if they didn't commit a crime? You only get due process when a person is convinced or accused of a crime, right? These people are stupid, man. They're a lose-lose. You don't need due process on a civil infraction. What due process are you getting if it's not criminal? And they love to conflate two or three things. You see, Kim Kardashian didn't say illegal aliens. She said immigrants. Well, there's a difference between illegal aliens and immigrants. But they want to conflate the two. But anyway, hey, thank you for the super chat. What's the Sassy Maid or Madeline? Is that it? Sassy Madeline. Thank you so much for the super chat. She super chatted Tatum. God bless you. God bless America. I love you guys. Y'all pray for me to feel better because I still feel kind of under the weather. But I'll see you on the next one. I'm out.
Oh, the land of the free.